Happy Tuesday, everyone. Today we're going to be doing, Samantha March and Allie did a eyeshadow palette tag collab, and I thought it was such a neat idea, and I wanted to do it too, so I'm doing this. I will link their videos below. May not be right when this video goes up, but it'll be up in there by the end of the day. Okay, the first question is, what is your newest palette? For a minute, I was like, I don't know. And then I remembered I just got the Private Society stuff in. So this is my newest eyeshadow palette, is the Private Society Girl Boss. I've used it a couple of times and I really still do like it. Okay, my oldest palette is kind of a tie. There's the, they're both Urban Decay. One's the purple palette from Christmas a couple of years ago, and then this one, I got them on the same day. This, I got it for Christmas. It was my first ever name brand palette. So, yeah. The Urban Decay Naked 3 was my oldest palette. So, that's that one. Show your most expensive palette. I believe this is my most expensive palette. It took me a second to figure it out, but I do believe this is my most expensive one. This is the Natasha Denona Love palette. This is an awesome palette. I love it to death. I'm still only gonna buy the little ones unless she comes out with one that's like gorgeous. Although there are some on sale right now of hers, so I don't know. But the Natasha Denona Love palette is my most expensive palette. My most affordable palette is I have the whole collection. I just grabbed this one. This is the pumpkin one from e.l.f. This is $3. So this is my most affordable palette. My everyday palette, this sits right here next to me. It's the Manny MUA and Morphe palette. I use this every day because I could use these colors. I could put some shimmer in it. It's got the highlighters. So this is a neutral palette that if I'm just putting on some makeup real quick, then this is the one I'm just grabbing because it's right there and because it's got neutrals in it. And it's got a pop of color, 2 pops of color if I want. Fire Witch and Gamenta. So that's my everyday palette. I do try to switch those out, but right now, that's my everyday palette, so. Okay, most colorful palette. At first, I had a Morphe palette, and then I was going through trying to find another one of these tags, and I saw this. BH Cosmetics, Take Me Back to Brazil. And even the James Charles palette and all the other Morphe palettes cannot beat the colorfulness in this palette. This is by far my most colorful palette. I have another one that's black, the Rio edition, and I believe it's all shimmers and it's all the same color. So I just use this one, but they're both my most colorful palettes. But yeah, I love this palette. When I want some color, I pop into this one. If it's an everyday look, I might go ahead and do it in a couple of days for Throwback Thursday, now that I got it out. Okay, show your smallest palette. That's once again the e.l.f. palette. I thought maybe if you go by it, but this one's longer. They're the same height, but this is 1 shade longer for the Natasha Denona, but they are both my smallest palettes. So the e.l.f. and the Natasha Denona ones are my smallest. Okay. My biggest, I'm not exactly sure where it was, but I believe it was at the biggest palette. All of a sudden my phone started ringing. So biggest palette, the Morphe palettes. They are the biggest one. This is the one I was going to use for the most colorful one because I know people would automatically think James Charles, but when I look at this runs the gamut of colors. It goes neons, brights, reds, neutrals, but 39L Hit the Lights is my biggest one, along with the gem one and the James Charles one. They're all the same size. I just grabbed one. Your palette with the best memory. This is a toss-up because this is a good memory. When I got these, this was my very first high-end makeup. But then I remembered when Jason was out of town last year, and this collection by Colourpop, the Colourpop Villains came out, and he bought the entire collection for me. And to me, that's a good memory because it's something that he remembered was coming out, and he did that on his own. I didn't ask him to buy it or anything. And to me, that says that he's really supporting me in this journey, and I really like that. So to me, this is the one with the best memory. Palette worth the hype. Tati Beauty Textured Neutrals 1. I started to think about it, and I'm like, which one is worth the hype that I have? Which one had a lot of hype that was made, that when I got it, I wasn't disappointed in any way? And that would be the Tati Beauty Textured Neutrals. This palette is outstanding. It's gorgeous. It's everything you want in a palette. It really is. And I love it. So to me, this is the one that was worth the hype. So yes, that one is worth it. All right. I don't want it to fall. Okay. Palette not worth the hype. It was a toss-up between actually two of the same brand. Too Faced. I love this palette for its sentimental type reasons, like the Now and Then. It's a collector's edition to me, but when I use it, I don't like it. I did the same with the, there's another one. They just have a lot of fallout, and they're not, I don't know, they're just not for me. But, I mean, yeah, to me, this one was not worth the hype at all. I was very disappointed in this. I was, like, so excited, and then I got it, and I'm like, no, this isn't it. Your favorite palette from your favorite brand. Colourpop, I think, is my favorite brand. That and Anastasia. I should have thought about Anastasia. But Colourpop. We'll go with Colourpop. Anastasia, if I was to pick a favorite one from the Anastasia collection, because she's my other favorite, I would have to go with the Norvina palette. That would be my favorite one. Or the Modern Renaissance. Those would be my favorites from those. But the Take Me Home palette from Colourpop, because I could take this anywhere. As you can see, it's well loved. It's got two little shimmer shades, like metallic shades. And it's got the little mattes, and then it's got like I guess Tati would call it a sequin shade. It's got little flecks in it. But this palette, you could pop in your purse. You could pop in your suitcase. And you could do so many looks with this. And it works out so well. And it has lipstick on it, I believe, from being popped in one of those things. So we'll get that off our hands. But yeah, that to me is my favorite palette from, I mean, look at all this. You could tell it's been well loved and taken a lot of places. Most used palette goes back to Urban Decay, to the Naked 3. I'm actually, I don't know if y'all could see this. That shade right there is going down a lot. This shade is indented. This shade is indented. Shimmer shades, not so much because I'm light-handed with those, but the matte shades that I use in this palette are very indented. And I love this brush. I don't know if y'all have ever had an Urban Decay palette, but their brushes that come in here are really, I love them. I even clean them because I use them. But that is everything. I will leave the questions below. I mean, there were so many other ones I could have grabbed, but to me, these were the ones that popped out when I read the question, and that's how I tried to do it. I tried to do it by the ones that popped into my head. Now, my most favorite palette from my favorite brand was hard because I was trying to remember which ones would be my favorite. And then I was like, well, I take that Take Me Home everywhere. When Jason was in Mississippi, I took it with me there. So that's the one I chose. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and give me any, like, leave a thing in the comment section of if you see any other tag type videos you would like to know my answers to. Let me know the video and who did it, so that I could go look it up and find the questions and give them credit. So I will talk to y'all later. I hope you have a wonderful Tuesday, and see you tomorrow.